Hi everyone, welcome to Converge, where conversations matter and conversations lead to action. Today we are so privileged to be sitting with someone who's very wise, someone with so much knowledge that all I can just encourage you to do is be a sponge. So grab a piece of paper, grab a pen. There will be a lot of note taking. So without much further ado, my guru, may you please introduce yourself to our viewers?
Thank you, Ellen. Greetings to you, all our viewers across the world. Let me start by saying I'm happy that I'm sitting with you today, sharing my experiences, my life, the journey that I've traveled. I'm a mother of 3. 1 girl and 2 boys. Yes. And they are now adults.
Yes.
They are doing they are living their own life. So, thank you very much for giving me the time, the chance, the opportunity to sit down and discuss life issues.
Yes.
Let me start by saying, the journey that I've traveled is very interesting. I did my schooling in Mashingo.
Okay.
Then I also joined the armed struggle. I thank God that I came back fit and healthy, in good healthy. And I joined the police service. And I served for 35 years.
Oh wow, that's a very long time.
Yes. And I also served within the United Nations peacekeeping missions on 3 occasions.
Yes.
I served in Europe, in Kosovo. I served in Asia, Indonesia, on 2 occasions whilst I was still serving the police. And I raised through the ranks up to the rank of a commissioner now. By then, it was a senior assistant commissioner. I served in various departments, administration, investigations, and also as a traffic commissioner in charge of the whole traffic issues in the country.
Okay.
I retired in 2012 when I was then officer commanding Mashingo province. And as a mother, as a woman, it was not easy.
I can imagine.
Because the promotion that are done within the police is through competition. You go for your exams, you go for interviews, and you then get your promotion.
Yes.
It's not like that you are picked and you are promoted.
Yes,
you have to compete.
You have to work for
and
it.
to compete with men.
Yes.
And even if you were to check statistics, the numbers of women against men, women are few.
Definitely, definitely.
So I'm happy that I was one of the few women who managed to rise up to that rank.
Ranks, yes.
Yes. When I retired, I then said, okay, because when you are at the rank of a senior assistant commissioner,
Yes.
you are more or less, you are a policymaker, because you'll be in a position to give direction and decisions.
Yes.
And I felt, because of my background, what happened to me during the war, I also needed to participate in politics.
Yes, 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 yes.
So before that, I was then voted to be the small scale miners president.
Yes, Yes.
which is the Zimbabwe Miners Federation.
Yes.
So I took charge of the sector for 3 years.
Yes.
And I'm happy that I changed the sector.
Yes.
And the results are there.
And you also changed the narrative.
Yes.
Yes.
Because what I did was to make sure the government appreciates the performance of the small-scale miners.
Yes, yes, yes.
By then, they were called Makorokoza.
Yes.
And I said, no. If you can then check the volumes, the number of kgs of gold produced by the small-scale miners vis-a-vis the big miners.
The official channels.
The
yes, 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 yes.
These people are mining using pick and shovel. But because of the volumes, the numbers, let's look at the numbers.
Yes, yes, yes.
Say we have, for argument's sake, we have 500,000
Yes.
Korokozas in the country. And one picks up a gram per day. How many grams? How many kgs?
That's a lot.
So I then tried to formalize the sector, to say we should appreciate and acknowledge their efforts. We should not be seeing running battles between the miner and the police.
Yes.
And we managed to formalize the sector. The first year, the whole country, we managed to raise 7 tons of gold from the small-scale miners sector. Second year, we raised 9 tons, which is 9,000 kgs.
Yes.
Third year, we raised 13. So we were now saying, check the figures.
Yes.
What is produced by the small scale and the big mine? There was a huge gap. And I'm happy that the sector is contributing to the economy of the country in a big way.
Yes.
And I have women that I mentored who are millionaires today
Yes.
as miners.
Yes.
And more women are now coming into mining. Because of that, I am happy that I've touched lives.
Yes.
I've changed lives. I also managed to convince the government to appreciate the Korokozas, whom we are now calling artisanal miners. So when I did that, I then said, no, but I want to go into politics. I moved into politics.
Because now you've seen the change, you've seen the influence, and now you've seen the results, and you're saying, you know what, we can multiply this. What you have changed here, if you change in other sectors, then before we know it, we have a lot of people who are empowered.
Exactly. Exactly. So I then moved into politics as a provincial leader for 2 years. I also participated in the elections, competing with our fellow men. First attempt, I lost. Second attempt, I lost, but I did not tire.
Yes.
I did not tire. I said, I will continue, and I will make sure one day I will make it.
And you know, sorry to cut you, what I've learned, right, is the whole word about losing is different now. Because losing is not when you compete and you don't get first prize. Losing is when you don't even try. So the fact that there's representation, the fact that there's a young girl, you know, young woman out there who always felt politics is for men. I don't have a voice. When they now see you participating and having a voice, that's empowering.
Yes.
So well done on that.
So I've been a provincial leader since 2013, 2014, up until now.
Okay.
I then participated in the 2018 elections, and I won as a senator for Marondera Wedza.
Okay.
with 5 constituencies. So I preside over these 5 constituencies, which includes Marondera Central, Marondera East, Marondera West, the Chiwota area. Yes. It's one of my constituency. Wedza North, where I come from, and Wedza South. Yes. And I'm also happy that as a provincial of, and also I'm the provincial chairwoman for the women, for the Women's League. Okay. So I'm happy to work with the women. As a woman, I feel I need to be closer to the women, including young women, including a girl child. Because when it comes to career guidance, I'm able to convince the women that you can do it.
Because I've done it.
I went to the war.
Exactly.
I've been a police officer. I've been a president of a mining sector. Now I'm a politician. So across the board, it's only you who can choose what you want to do.
Definitely.
But opportunities are there.
Yes.
Our government, our president has opened doors for everybody to participate wherever you want. So it's up to you. Don't remain behind. So we are also lucky that our first lady, Dr. Celia Mnangagwa, you know, she has been going out there with a number of programs, a number of projects. She has been touching lives, people's lives. Yes. To say, no. It's not a question of being a boy or a girl. We've got
it's the willingness.
Yes, it's your willingness. And don't waste your time engaging with the boys. You still have time. Get a title. A doctor, a pilot.
Exactly.
A nurse. Then you can look for a partner. Yes. You still have time. Don't rush.
When you've empowered yourself.
And she's also urging us to say, let's go back to our culture. Because long back, our families were intact. They were very intact and strong.
So there was a lot of mentorship going on, the tetes teaching the young ladies, and also the grandmothers sitting, you know, with the grandchildren and saying, this is how we used to do things. Now people are learning from Facebook, people are learning from social media.
Let's go back and revisit what we were eating before. Yes. Because diseases were very few. What caused that? Maybe it was the type of food that we were eating. Why don't we go back and eat that type of food?
You know what I've realized, right, is we always looked down upon traditional medicines and we thought we're very modern. So whether you're having a cough, you want Mr. Woods, right? You want to go to the pharmacy. Then COVID came and it humbled everybody. COVID came and it showed you that you can be in hospital. I remember with one of my close friends, she was told that your father-in-law, it was the father-in-law and the husband were in hospital. They will not make it in hospital. Take them home. So now you have to take the gum trees, the leaves, and, you know, and crush them and drink that. You have to steam. Even doctors were teaching us to steam. And this is something that our grandmothers have been doing for the longest time. But we felt we were too fancy for it. So now, as we evolve, we realize that nothing is new under the sun. We are going back to exactly the same ways.
So we are blessed that we have a first lady who is touching lives, who is all over the country, meeting up with all levels of people. Yes. Be it disabled, old aged, girls, boys, across the country. And to make matters worse, we are now faced with the drug abuse. Yes. That's a cancer that is now faced by a lot of countries. But she's also out there to educate people, even establishing rehabilitation centers to bring those people for rehabilitation. Yes. And that's another area that our girl child out there should take charge of themselves. True. Because if they indulge in drugs, we are going to lose the mother. Because in the future, she might not be interested in getting married or even to have a baby.
And if she does, these kids does not know how to guide them, then those kids are now repeating the same cycles.
We are going to lose generations.
As you're saying, it's a cancer because in society, mentorship is the most important thing. So when we have, you see, that's why I'm so excited today, because when we have mothers who have walked the journey and they're saying, you can do it. If I could, elevate myself before their YouTube courses, if I could elevate myself when we are still working to go to school, you can do more. So if we learn to then do more and our kids learn to do more, before we know it, we have new generations that are coming up and they're all equipped. And they will realize that no, drugs is just something that's going to damage me. But if I can empower myself, find a skill, find something to do, learn something.
True. I think it's high time as women. I'm happy that you are doing this. And I would want to urge you to aggressively pursue. Because a lot of people are going to see different charts, different clips that you are going to be doing.
Yes.
And you are going to touch people.
Amen.
And a lot of people are going to change their lives through this. So I want to thank you very much that what you are doing is going to benefit people out there before you even know it.
Thank you.
My last comment will be on mining. I'm a miner. But I've a number of women who are now big miners competing with male miners. And mining is a very difficult sector. Yes. It's not easy.
Yes.
It takes someone with passion and commitment. And also, with mining, it doesn't mean that you have to go underneath to be a miner.
Actually, I was going to get to that, to say, let's say there's someone who's watching who is 20 years, 50 years, but this woman has never had, of what mining is. They've always seen the stories in the newspapers. So if for someone just to go back to the basics, to say what is mining, what are the types of mining, and how can a person say, I'm interested, maybe this is the starting point. Is there a course they can do? Is there, what channels could they follow?
Okay, with mining, the custodian of mining different minerals in Zimbabwe is the Ministry of Mines. Okay. But there are other stakeholders, other ministries with interests in what will be happening in a certain area. Okay. For example, when you want to register for a mine, you need to identify an area which is mineralized.
Okay. When you say mineralized, what does it mean?
It doesn't mean that you can just put a mine anywhere.
Yes.
Minerals, there's a formation of mineralized stones, which indicates that you might find such a mineral along this area. There is a mineral in this area. Like
a history, like when we are farming, we always have to check where there's fertile ground, where the soil is rich. Yes. So with this one, you have to check where maybe there's history of mining and there's been identification.
With farming, we have deep red soils, which is very good for maize and soybeans. But we have sand loam soils where some other crops are suitable, chilies, maybe groundnuts and other minerals. So with mining, there are areas with lithium deposits. Okay. Lithium deposits goes with a certain type of stone. Yes. Like pegmatites.
Okay, yes.
Gold also, it goes with a certain type of stones.
Yes.
There are stones that they call oxidized. Those are stones. It carries large ore boards.
Okay.
But when you want to do shafting, you need to sink a shaft.
Okay.
And you go maybe for you to get a reasonable grammage, 70, 80 meters. And the type of stones is also different from the red one.
Yes, yes, yes.
So we have got more than 64 minerals in Zimbabwe.
That's a lot.
Oh, plenty.
That is a lot. And that's encouraging.
So, yes, there are some minerals which are easy to mine. They're mechanized. You can do volumes within a short period.
Yes.
But with gold now, you need a bit of capital, especially women.
Yes.
Because women, we don't have a lot of capital.
Yes.
And men are taking advantage. Because they go down, they can sacrifice to stay in the bush.
For 2 months, 3 months, no one is saying, I need to go to school.
I am saying to the girl child out there,
yes,
we have got vocational training centers these days where people are being trained on skills.
Yes.
And we are saying you can choose to be a miner.
Yes.
What you need is to go to the Ministry of Mines to get a pegger, a seasoned pegger, who knows where gold mineralization is. They will then go to the ministry, check on the map, because whenever you peg a mine, it will be put on the map and nobody can come and peg. So
also it's already like allocated to you.
Yes.
Okay, yes. That's beautiful.
So you need money to register, to buy a prospectus, then you register for registration, then you have a title.
Yes.
When you have a title, you can then look for knowledgeable people. If you want to do what they call geomagnetics, you get a geologist and his team will then go and scan the ground, identify the reefs, the strikes where they are going, which one is rich, which one can you pursue, which one can you do what. Then you get your resources, you sink. And can you imagine, gold now is going at 140 per gram, 1 gram. Say your mine is producing 20 grams per ton, and you produce 5 tons per day, times 20 grams, times
That's
140.
generational wealth. That can change a whole community. Because what I'm also understanding is, you see, the beauty about women is that we connect so easily. We connect so easily. There's always something that puts us together. It could be coming from the same family. It could be, having the same skills, the same desires. So one thing I would urge you, you're watching and you're thinking, this is sounding all too complicated. Find someone in your community. Start searching. I know it's always easy, for people to search how much is it to go to Dubai and, or to China and buy clothes and buy things to sell. It's not a bad thing, but the market is oversaturated. We can only wear so many clothes. We can only have so many wigs. But when you now just make a decision to say, I don't want my success to be fleeting. So I don't want to just be doing hair. And then when the market becomes more saturated, I move on to other things. Let's think of things that don't expire. Let's think of things that can go generation to generation. So firstly, let's seek information. Seek out a friend, seek out a cousin, seek out someone in your community. Ladies, this is doable. We can do it. We can all learn together and we can change our families together.
I wanted to say, if you have your title, you can then look for people to do it for you. But the mine is yours.
Definitely.
What comes out of it is yours.
It belongs to you.
And lastly, to our young women out there, our women out there, I'm a farmer. And at some point, you don't need to have a big land for you to be a farmer. It depends on what you want to do. Yes. And right now, we are encouraging women to go into horticulture.
Yes.
Horticulture, on a 2-hectare plot, you can do wonders. You can even do better than someone who has 200 hectares.
True. It's
only that you need to have passion and commitment. and you need water. It's easy these days. You just drill your bore. You put a tank. You're irrigating.
The water is there.
You're irrigating. And you can even do it from your countryside home, where your grandfather and grandmother who are now old.
And they miss you, and now the place is being called a dongo.
Exactly.
But now you can go there, resuscitated.
Exactly. So, women out there, please, let's stand up and compete and go out there and choose. You can even choose to go into construction. It doesn't mean that you need to be only an excavator or a dozer.
I'm now just putting the brick and the cement.
No. All what you need is to register your company and you get engineers, right? You can then go for tenders and you are a contractor. You can also apply for 20-kilometer road. Participate in the tenders.
True.
There you are. So it's not for male only. True. I'm saying girls, ladies, let's go for it. Especially in our country with our president, Dr. Idi Mnangagwa, he's saying we should not leave anyone behind. And the opportunities are there for everybody to participate. Let's participate.
Thank you, Ellen. Thank you so much. So ladies, you can put your questions. You can either DM us, you can write in the comment section. But basically, Margaret's taken time to just come sit and tell you that it's doable. And not because she read it somewhere, but because she has done it. You can go into mining. You can go into farming. You can go into construction. Into politics. Start in your area. What is it that you're seeing where there's a gap? Because so many times we're always thinking, I wish people can just start, making spinach. I wish people can be doing mining here. I wish people can fix the road. But let's do the research and saying, with where I am, can I start? I'm challenging you to start, and then come and you say, I failed. I went to seek the information, there was no information. I went to try this, it wasn't there. And then we can try and navigate it together. But today I just want you to be challenged. The year is starting. Let's end the year on a different pace. Where people used to know you as the one who go from house to house, now but someone who knows all the gossip, someone who knows all the stories. Can you be known as the one who's rallying everybody together? Can you be known as the one who's saying, guys, we have this small portion. Let's all start farming something. Let's see what is the need. Because if you are sitting in the house and you're buying vegetables, if you're sitting in the house and you are still getting someone to do work for you, then remember you are the consumer. And we want to move from being consumers who are always just, spending money to get things from others. But we can move and be the ones who are coming together and getting the gold. And then now we know that our community has changed. I've seen a lot of communities reviving because of that. Look at Kadoma. All those are communities that are revived because there's activity. So guess what? Instead of you moving to a place where someone is revived, you moving to Kadoma. Bring Kadoma to your location. Bring Kadoma to your village. And let's do something, ladies. So may you be encouraged. And yes, I'm just very excited. And we will try when we have more time, even do another segment. But for today, I'm saying the next time we speak, try to have just done one thing. Just ticked one thing. See you next time.